Uh, Good afternoon, jury, and everyone present here. Thank you for the opportunity to presenting this case study today. With me is Shivani, who represents Forever New. Forever New is a brand which needs no introduction. It's a global marquee fashion brand which is loved by women and by men alike. Although it burns a lot of holes in the men's pockets every now and then, but you love to see your women dressed up in beautiful Forever New dresses, right? So I'll keep this case study more of the learnings and the experience centric and not what GreenHonchos did for the brand, but what brand and GreenHonchos did together and what other brands can take away from this session in terms of the learnings. Because Forever New is a brand which for sure has a lot of learnings and experience to offer with the numbers that Forever New is achieving online and offline and as an omni-channel brand. So we would keep it much centric towards that. Any questions we will take after the 15 minutes are over. I have a timer here in front of me. So last 5 minutes we'll keep our questions. And over to Shivani. My question is, which starts with the topic itself, that how does Forever New craft the content to commerce journey for its digital shoppers? Shivani.
Aamir, you're not audible. Can you repeat your question, please?
I'll come back with the question again. Let me know if you hear this. Am I audible?
Yes.
So how does Forever New craft the content to commerce journey for its digital shoppers?
You're not audible. I can't hear.
Check. Am I audible?
There's too much of disturbance, actually.
Rohit, can you check this, please? Hello. Check. Audible now?
Are you talking about the social media strategy?
I'm talking about the content to commerce journey for Forever New for its digital shoppers.
I can't hear. I'm sorry, but there's too much of disturbance. I can't hear one word.
Hello. Check. Hello.
Speak a little away from the mic. Maybe.
Am I audible now?
Little bit, yes.
Okay. So content to commerce journey to start with for Forever New.
Content of journey.
Content to commerce journey. Yeah.
Okay, so well, I have not understood the question well, but I'll just tell you about how we work in terms of using technology and other things at Forever New. So, can you hear me?
You're audible. You're audible.
Hello.
Okay.
The question
At
is on
Revenue, we've launched Omni-channel about a year back, and we've been doing extremely well when it comes to Omni-channel. Currently, our contribution to Omni-channel is about 34% on businesses. Right.
Yeah, please carry on. You're audible.
Okay. Okay. So with this much of disturbance, so I really don't know, but I'm just continuing to talk because since we have very limited time. So this is the only thing that I wanted to say, that our contribution has been tremendous. You know, we've been enabling shoppers to shop at their convenience at all times. Also, we've launched virtual shopping as well for our customers, you know, who wants to shop at their convenience. So, Omni strategy has really helped in terms of how the distribution of products has been and how we have enabled the customer to buy at, at their convenience. So this is working very well. Social media is also something that we have translated in terms of conversions. So it's not just about creating content, it's also about creating content that leads to some traction and traffic on the website. One key thing is that when you create content, it needs to be an action-driven point in terms of what are you trying to communicate to the consumer? Is there a connect with the consumer? Are you trying to create a bond with the consumer? And what is it that you're offering? It's not just about a product. I think it's about a product story that you're trying to sell. And how well do we sell that? So while we do have like our influencers, but we've also created brand advocates who basically have the brand shops, you know, on weekly basis on our Instagram platforms, which is working extremely well. So we are connecting with our consumers, their affinity of consumers to create sort of a brand connect that leads to a lot of traffic generations on our e-com platforms. And I think we've seen that approximately about 2 to 3% of the business on week basically including coming from this strategy. So it's working very well. It's on the direct consumer, D2C. It's like you're directly talking to a consumer via this.
Hello, audible? Can you hear me, Shivani? Hello, am I audible to you?
Yeah, I'm trying to listen really hard, but yeah.
Yeah. So Forever New is known for its celebrity management, celebrity sourcing, having a brand face, and also for the influencer marketing strategies that the brand has really leveraged to its strength. And the brand has also gone against the natural wisdom of choosing a celebrity face from a different zone of the country, from where not most of your customers come from. So can you share your thought process of choosing that celebrity? How has it panned out for the brand? What must other brands do of putting a face behind the brand and then using the influencers to amplify that campaign? How did the launch go when you introduced it with the seasonal campaigns and all that? So please go ahead.
Yeah, sure. I think it's a very it's a question that we've been often asked, you know. So our brand ambassador being Pooja Hegde, she's a superstar of South India, and it was a pretty tough call for us to take a face, you know, which is only very popular in the South India. But if you look at her revenue, most of the revenue is coming from North India, which is almost about 60% of our revenue. We went ahead, we took a risk because we felt that she completely decodes what brand stands for. You know, the confidence, self-made, empowerment. All of these characteristics of the brand completely made us like take a decision to go ahead with Pooja Hegde. That was risk number one. Second was when we launched her 2022 autumn winter, we actually elevated a collection in terms of, you know, deep cuts and high level slit and elevated necklines. And it was never done at a history of revenue that we elevated so well in terms of our products. You know, it was more towards event wear, more towards like main events. Third risk that we took was increasing our price points. We increased the price point for almost 20%. So an average cost of a dress is about 8,000 earlier, but now it's gone up to about 12 to 13,000 rupees, which is quite steep for an Indian market. Especially it's been so competitive, you know, with having the aggressive online players. We took these three routes, you know, and surprisingly, it worked very well because I think our marketing strategy, the way we have used the technology to connect with the consumers, has paid back to us. So whatever has been marketed in autumn, winter, and even the spring, summer season, most of our stock, the collection that we bought, sold out in less than 3 weeks. So today, if you see a product makes more than 75 to 76% is my full price, and the remaining is my MD. So that is what the product. It's a very healthy, and we're enjoying that space because currently I don't think we have any competition also in this market. Nevertheless, it's a price sensitive in India, but we're able to maintain a brand story, a brand advocacy very well through our influencers, through our content stories, through deep down connection with what influencer really needs.
Sure. So talking about some numbers, I mean, Forever New boasts of numbers which are sort of unrealistic when the other retail brands or D2C brands or e-commerce brands hear about it. I just want to talk about those numbers and let you speak about how Forever New is able to achieve those numbers with 30x plus return on ad spend on an average, with 85% returning customer, and a content to commerce journey which leads to a higher organic traffic and sales on its website. So could you please elaborate upon what goes behind in achieving these numbers?
So, what goes behind is a lot of planning, a lot of thought. So, we are a brand that doesn't work on monthly numbers. We are a brand that we work on weekly numbers. So, while everybody who goes to office on Mondays is having the Monday blues, but for us, it is Mondays. Like Monday is a review that how the week goes on. We're an Australian brand. A week starts from Sunday, ends on Saturday. So Monday is reviewing the last week and then planning for this week. So it's a very robust planning that we do. And we keep close watch in terms of what's happening in the market, how the sentiments are changing, and we actually work according to that. Coming to what you've asked is something that we are very specific about the cohorts that we build for our consumers. It's not one communication going to entire consumer fraternity or the brand lovers. It's basically a customized communication going to make sure to ensure that the needs are getting catered. For example, there are discount seekers. So you know, we sent like, you know, message to our discount seekers. There are dress buyers, you know, we made sure that, you know, the dress communication goes to that. There are people who are looking for event wear. So these sort of a lot of consumer research that we go on weekly levels to understand where to hit. And that is the reason that any sort of a campaign, we are actually enjoying the ROAS of 30x. And also the conversions being 2.2 on the time when we launch a campaign, and on average of conversions being 1.3, 1.4, which is really good for a brand, especially being a product mix of 75% being FP products.
Sure. So I would like to have your opinion in terms of the integrated marketing approach in terms of the e-commerce, where there may be multiple partners plugged in for the one user's transactional journey on the web store, but the user is one. He sees the web store and the entire online journey of purchasing as a single transaction, right? So where do you think in this user experience journey of purchasing seamlessly online, does the integrated e-commerce enablement approach comes in? GreenHonchos has a technology, performance marketing and online brand building mandate for forever new. So where do you see all that partnership working out together and helping the brand deliver its absolute best performance?
Yes, so I think like everybody is very, very crunched of time, and I think online needs to be very quick and fast. If you're not able to attack a consumer or what is actually needed, you're losing out on consumer. So time is very, very important. So what we work in terms of with the help of Green Honkos with the technology, we kind of actually play around with the kind of landing page that we want on a website. So any sort of a campaign that we're doing, we're trying to make sure at one click the person actually reaches to the product that you need, so that the user journey becomes like smaller and shorter, and then the transactions and the conversions become higher. So I think that is something very, very important, because we are not asking the customer, or we're not expecting a customer to browse my entire website. So we're having a very curated solution in the website to what you're looking. So I think in a minute or two, you're able to make up your mind and purchase. I think that is something that we are working very hard and very specific about the consumer journey. So yes, that's what we do.
Sure. So, we have been working together for last 3 years, but Shivani has come into Forever News since a year and a half now, and a lot has changed since then. There is this obsession about data analytics and taking decisions very quickly and moving the brand in its journey and its aspirational values month on month, day on day, year on year. I want you to talk about that data analytics part and how what KPIs you track, what matters, and what you sort of categorize as a vanity metric. I know for the fact that the Green Honchos Navigator dashboard, you are the first person to see it every day and then, plan your day accordingly. So KPIs you track and KPIs you think are vanity metrics and other brands should not bother about.
Yes, so I think rightly said. I think first thing in the morning that we see how was my last day's performance. So I think KPIs is something, that amount of traffic we are getting is something. Sessions we are getting, what is the kind of quality of the session? What's been like, how many people are converting, what they are browsing, what they're not browsing, what's the kind of time that they're spending on the website but not ended up, transacting. So such analysis in terms of enrollment, like enrollments happening but not transacting, but transacting but not coming back to the brand, and people who are coming at at the new launch time. So all of these analysis are something that we are doing week on week basis to ensure that we target them. In terms of that, we want to maintain our AOV. I think AOV is really, really important for the brand. It's currently our AOV is around 6,000, so which is made because the pricing has also gone up. So we are completely on clued in terms of what's my AOV. We can't afford the AOV to go down. So I think that's one thing. Conversions is another thing. Sessions, everything we track on everyday basis. And I think that database and that you give us in terms of the dashboard is really helping us to make like almost midweek calls. So I think it's an also enables us to change our strategy. Many times, when we see that our numbers are not getting achieved, say on a Wednesday or Thursday, we kind of quickly take a call. Why don't we just do something for the weekend? We actually roll out something for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and that's when the changes start. And that's the beauty of the online industry, the online thing. You change immediately. So I think that's a quick call that we keep doing in terms of playing and seeing what's happening. Yeah, and
Right.
it's working very well.
Yeah. So you are on a big screen now, Shivani. We have got last 5 minutes left, and I'm throwing it open to the jury for asking any questions if there are. Please go ahead.
Hi, Aamir.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question?
So
Who's asking?
yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. So I just want to understand with Green Honchos, how long is this engagement kind of been gone on between Forever New and
So we are a little bit about past 2 years now since we have taken their technology and their performance marketing and the online branding mandate.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So two questions for Shivani. How have your customer acquisition costs changed from the point you started your work with Green Honchos as well until now? Have you just talk us through what your CACs have kind of traversed?
Sure. So, cost of acquisition keeps changing, but I think we have been able to maintain that in terms of currently a cost of acquisition is about 200 to 41. That's what it's ranging about. This is the range. Um, we can optimize everything to make sure that the cost goes down, and the kind of campaigns that we run and the kind of cohorts that we kind of building and the traffic that we're looking at, I think that is something which is a success story as of now for all our digital marketing campaigns. We are a brand which are not, I would say that we are not a risk taker in terms of experimenting too many things. I think that is one thing that, we are able to maintain the cost of acquisition as well. We do not take too much of risk in acquiring new customers at a very high sort of level of campaigns. So we take like slow steps, and making sure that that sort of a customer retain. So with Green Honkos, we have an understanding that this is how we want to do. There's a certain percentage that we need to do a new customer acquisition. This is the kind of quality that we want. We need to hit the right audience. I think that's what it is. So we are able to maintain that. And I think over the years, we have also got down from 350 to almost 240.
Okay.
Maintaining at that.
Okay, and how have your conversions changed over the last 1 to 2 years?
Well, last year till about 2021, our conversion was about 0.9%. And right now, on an average, our conversions is about 1.2 to 1.3. Whenever we are launching a campaign or the new launch, new collection, our conversions go up to about 2.2.
Okay, one last generic question. See, we've had a few other sessions where somebody talked about their sales jumping up due to good inventory management. Another presenter talked about sales going up due to better management of their returns and all of that stuff. Okay. In your case, you're talking about sales going up because of marketing. So what I'm trying to understand is, do you attribute your increased sales only due to this exercise with Green Honchos, or have there been complementary efforts that have happened?
Sure. So I'll like to take this first and then Shivani may add on. So what we are talking about is, and the idea that we're presenting here is the integrated e-commerce or e-retail approach that Green Honchos applies, where the the digital buyer is very fast in terms of the preferences and his shopping experience, and also the attention span is very low. So what we are talking about here is the integrating technology, integrating performance marketing and brand building in a single umbrella, where if you need to change something, let's say 12 p.m. in the night on the tech front, so we are able to do it. The marketing needs to know whether what offers are we having on the website, how the journey is seamlessly playing, is there any tech plug-in, plug-out that we are putting for some festival seasons and all that. And the online branding piece also needs to be aligned, where there is a pre-buzz and a buzz campaign, the event coverage campaigns online, and there is sort of a traction and a narrative which is in sync with your web store and which is in sync with your performance marketing also. So all of these three pieces put together is what helps Forever New and us as a partners together to achieve these numbers. Shivani, over to you.
Yeah, so I think it's a very interesting question. I would like to answer it a bit differently. I think the effort of sales is has to be a teamwork of all departments. It's not just only technology, but technology is being one of the major support functions. So I think first I would like to highlight that we have a very strong brand power and brand affinity. So we have a customer database who definitely loves us and would are waiting for us to launch something new or at all various intervals. So I think that is one thing which is organically leading to our brand growth. So I think we're also riding on to that. But coming back to your question in terms of the stock outs and everything, I think it's something that, when it's a 360-degree effort, So it's obviously there are people who are definitely offline shoppers. Our maximum contribution is definitely coming from offline. There is no debate on that. And but the point is that today I think everybody is consuming content online. You need to connect with the consumer online. I think gone are the days you read magazines or newspaper. It's about whether my communication is reaching to the customer, and obviously the transaction that can happen anywhere. So the way to look at it is that during that time, what is my sales lift happening? How is it that I connected? What was my clicks? So today, I mean, we're just a 1 year, 1.5 year old baby in terms of the online thing. So our e-commerce platform is hardly about a year and a half. Today, we are contributing to about 15 to 16% of our total business. So I think that is something which is great and it's only growing. And for the fact that it's already a product makes us towards full price is also something to be looked at. So it's an effort everywhere. Our database, our Allure, which is a loyalty program, is working wonders for us in terms of our own community. So it's and coming back to the inventory thing, we whenever we buy any sort of a stock, we only buy a stock which gives us a week cover of 6 weeks. So I think the inventory levels doesn't really stock up. I mean, we do have a lot of inventory towards the end of the year also, but it's something that our main and macro stories and the campaigns are usually always sold off. So I think that is what is the thing that we are aiming at.
Great. So we'll take one last question from the gentleman and then we'll just go.
Thanks. Uh, Thank you, Shivani. Thanks, Aamir. Uh, you've spoken about how you cut the customer journey and take them directly to the product that they want. It's mostly like doing one-on-one marketing or personalized marketing, which is primarily how online has differentiated itself. So at Casio also we try to do that for our customers. But at the same time, we also want customers to browse through our product and different categories that we have. So how do you, with the help of technology, differentiate between the customer to whom to directly take to the product, right? It's more like you probably picking the customer at somewhere in the middle of the funnel versus the customer, probably you're catching up, at top funnel, and you probably would want him to browse through your product and take them through your entire marketing funnel and then convert them. So there is always this dilemma, right? It's basically whether you want to really create awareness about the brand, if I'm talking in that term, or doing performance marketing and just converting the customer immediately.
Got it.
So how does the technology, from the technology perspective, is there something that you've done in past which you can talk about?
Absolutely. I think this is a recent thing that we started doing it for the last 2 months. So whenever we do any campaigns, I think from the marketing side of the thing, I'm very clear what is the campaign going to lead to me. Is it going to lead to me a brand reach, or I'm looking at a conversion from this campaign? So I think the objective first needs to be very, very clear. This is we work here. Second thing, coming out to like how do we sell cross categories while I'm also looking at a journey being short and directly linking into that product. What we started doing is we started changing our content strategy. So what we do is instead of just sending them, when you send them a product in terms of targeting them, we actually curate a look for them. So it's like if I'm targeting them with a dress, we also highlight with what sort of a bag can go, what sort of a jewelry can go, what sort of a sunglasses can go. So in that one page, we're creating not just a dress, but we're creating a look for them. So this is something which has worked really well for us. I'm seeing a back contribution is gone up to almost 10 to 12% currently. So I think that is something intelligently we need to push like across categories within the main campaigns because we are currently not known for handbags. Handbags is something we are going to put our foot down. Now, how is it that we want to do that is also going to be sell with our major products. So I think curation of the content is the key. I think content is the key because that's the only thing that consumed by the consumers. So I think we started doing that in terms of looks. This is my cocktail look. This is my brunch look. This is like my AM to PM look. This is my date night look. Okay, so it's like a completely head to toe, but obviously the macro product being the outfit. Once you click onto that on the website, it says recommend. Also can buy this. Also can team up with.
So thank you so much, Shivani, for tuning in. We're
So-
well past over the time.
Sorry,
Uh, if we are allowed, please go ahead.
yeah. So two things important. One is how your solution is different from what are the 2 or 3 key differentiator with respect to other solution, number one. Number two, I see Forever New is being more into premium customer segment, right? How would your solution work if you go to a value or mass segment where diversity of customers is much more higher?
So the mass customers are very different. So I think what we are, I mean, if I can understand your question, are you trying to ask me that if we go towards the mass route, am I understanding that right?
So the question is more to GreenHonchos than Forever New because we wanted to understand their solution. The differentiation with respect to other solutions in the market, key differentiation, and then how would it work if we go to a value or mass segment?
Sure. So I think,
Aamir, can I please take this question?
yeah, sure, sure. You
Okay.
want to take this, please go ahead.
So one thing that we have done is that I think about 2-3 months back, one of the things that we had meetings with the GreenHonchos team was that we need a lot of sessions on the website. We want to make sure that the contribution of the website increases, the online business increases. We need sessions. We started targeting a larger amount of base to increase sessions on a website. What we saw was the bounce rate increased. The quality, because the price point is like 12,000, 11,000, a normal top is like for 5-6,000. So I think where what matters is the quality matters than that of a quantity matters. When we do mass campaigns, it leads to traffic, but it spoils my entire matrix in terms of the bounce rate, the conversions, the AOV. We need to be very specific in terms of, who is my target customers, because right now I'm not an H&M. I don't have anything that for early adopters also, you need to have a little bit of purchasing power. So I think any sort of a mass campaigns right now have tremendously not worked for us. So this is what, my bit would be, but I'm a good reader.
Yeah, so 1 minute closing note on that question from GreenHonchos end. So our proposition is that we're a full stack e-commerce enablers, and we provide growth and scalability at profitability, right? So that's our proposition is, and how do we ensure that is integrating the entire e-commerce journey, because e-commerce is a leaking bucket. The user is one, right? You can't just run a performance marketing ad campaign and people landing on your website don't feel the same sort of experience. There's too much lag. The journey is not complete. There is add to cart and not cart to conversion happening, right? And cart to conversion happening, but then retention marketing not in being placed, like your entire CPaaS tech not in place, the emails, the WhatsApp nudges, the website nudges not going in the right direction. So all the e-commerce brand, be it a legacy offline retailer or a D2C first brand, they're obsessed about that if they're spending something online, right, be it technology or their digital marketing or their performance marketing or their entire online branding or marketplace management also for that matter, they want to know what are they getting in return, right? Because offline is something that is in front of them, it has been proven, tested, everything, but they want to see the proof of concept. So that is where the proof of the concept comes, when you deliver on their investments. And how GreenHonchos delivers on those investments is integrating all these pieces and puzzles of e-commerce together and keeping the customer in the center and delivering him the absolute best digital experience, because the customer doesn't know whether you're on Magento, you're on Shopify, you're on GreenHonchos Commerce Cloud, you're on Salesforce Commerce Cloud, whether you're using any retention marketing tool, whether which marketplace your product is available on, when he would get the product from your D2C website or not. But if you provide that seamless experience as good as, let's say, Amazon and Flipkart and Mintras of the world on your own D2C website, he's sold for you, and then the repeat purchase is always higher than the marketplaces for the same customer. So I think we added value through our conversation today to everybody, and some key takeaways there. We are available at booth number RT33 outside. For any questions, please reach out. Naveen's session is next. We have some case study prepared for you of good 10-12 brands, some good takeaways there also. Thank you so much for your time.